Hi, I'm going to talk about Night and Fog, a French documentary on deportation of Jews in World War II. The film was produced in 1955, after 10 years from World War II, at the dawn of Algerian War. The driving force behind the production was the fear that these horrors would reoccur in this war between France and its African colony Algeria. The film's original name was thought to be Resistance and Deportation, but it was changed to Night and Fog, the Himmler's famous decree. Himmler used this decree to take whoever resisted the Third Reich into camps in such a way that they would vanish without a trace. The film contains photographs and footages showing these events, and it also contains a photograph of a detention center which holds Jewish people waiting to be deported, and these Jewish people were held by French officers. So it shows us that we are all capable of participating in such horrors. But it also allured many censorship tries, but it failed because Jewish people threatened the French government if they did not show the film in Cannes Festival, they would go there naked and show their tortured bodies. So the film was shown and took a high praise, but did not prevent the Algerian War, unfortunately. But in 1990, a Jewish body was desecrated in a French cemetery, so French government realized that these horrors should be remembered, and the film was revived, and it still takes a high praise today.
Night and Fog is a French documentary short film about Nazi concentration camps which was shot in 1955. This short film was one of the first documentaries about Nazi concentration camps. Michael Buquet was a French actor, is the narrator of the film. In black and white scenes, we see Reinhard Heydrich, who was a high-ranking German Nazi official during World War II. And also we see Heinrich Himmler, who was a military commander and leading member of the Nazi Party of Nazi Germany. We also see Julius Streicher, who was the founder and publisher of Der Stürmer newspaper, which became very important for Nazi propaganda machine. And we also see Adolf Hitler, who was the leader of the Nazi Party. Night and Fog was written by Jean Carroll, a survivor of Mauthausen-Gusen concentration camp. In 1941, Carroll joined the French resistance. However, he was arrested and sent to Gusen concentration camp in 1943. He was one of the youngest French prisoners at the camp, and he was forced to make hardest work along the construction. Because of the hard conditions, Carroll wanted to die, but he was saved by Dr. Johann Gruber, aka the Saint of Gusen, and after that event, he started to write poems and texts about camps. This film was directed by Alain René, who is a French film director over 60 years. René realized that standard documentary techniques would not be enough to display the horror in camps, so he chose to use distancing technique by alternating historical black and white images of the camps with contemporary color footage of the sites in long tracking shots. Now Doğukan will give information about where and how film was presented.
After the production of the film in December 1955, the French censors wanted some scenes cut from Night and Fog with the following explanations. The end of the movie being too violent to be allowed in a film and not to be offensive in the eyes of the present-day military. Also, German embassy in France asked for the film to be withdrawn from Cannes Film Festival. The French press reacted against the proposed withdrawal, noting that Köroğlu and René were very cautious in defining the difference between the Nazi criminals and the German people. Night and Fog was shown in commercial theaters in Paris in May 1956. The film was awarded the Jean Vigo Prize, a French award for young filmmakers. The film received very high acclaim in France on its initial release. Jacques Doniol Valcroze wrote that the film was a powerful work compared to Goya's and Kafka's works. French film critic and director François Truffaut referred to Night and Fog as the greatest film ever made. Ironically, the film was not received as well in Israel. René's universalist approach drew some criticism. It was then reshown in 1990 to remind the people of horrors of war. The film has been shown as a teaching tool in schools in France since 1991. Night in Fog also has been used as a source for a couple of other art pieces. For instance, Bakula studied Night and Fog when he was writing the film adaptation of Sophie's Choice, which is a novel about the Polish Catholic survivor of Auschwitz. Night and Fog still receives very high praise today. Modern reception has been very positive.
It's a film about remembering, and remembering is one of the topics that we discuss most in the class. In our opinion, René, who is the director of the film, has given us an honest, real and emotional look at the truth of war, both prisoners and imprisoned people, with the help of a little more insight about not only Nazi idealism but also Nazi procedures in the time of war. Night and Fog is short yet powerful in promoting deep reflection among viewers. René was reluctant to express opinions on an event that he had not witnessed and agreed to direct the film if Jean Köroğlu, who survived from Gusen camp, scripted the commentary. As François Truffaut quoted, Night and Fog is a sublime film which is difficult to speak about and leaves an unhappy, devastated taste in our mouth. The devastated feeling that we have after watching the film is another reason that made us want to present the film and share the feeling that we experienced. In the film, what we see is something so troubling and grotesque that we normally turn away to keep our mental well-being, yet we must not to do so if we desire to have a deeper understanding about pain, suffering and remembering. Also, Köroğlu, the scriptwriter of the film, constantly reminds us that movie can only show us the outer shell of those terrifying days, and neither words nor images are not enough to express what has been done. Moreover, René is highly aware of the media's potential to relive the past instance in an internal present, and he creates awareness of the necessity of remembering history without using any moving images of that and other catastrophic events.